Welcome to Psychic Bent. My name is Carrie.
And I'm Kim. We are two sisters wanting to help other psychics learn and grow in their abilities and to help educate about spirits, angels, and everything psychic. Hi, listeners. Welcome back to Psychic Bent. We hope you enjoyed the last episode that we had. This week, we are going to be covering what is Yule and the Yuletide holiday season. And Yule is actually the beginning of the winter solstice. So, Carrie, would you like to start us off on this episode to discuss what Yule is and how we celebrate it or can celebrate it?
Absolutely. Now, for the Yuletide Festival in the Northern Hemisphere, that would be December 21st to the 22nd is the start. And Kim loves the time. You want to tell them what time Yule starts on the 21st?
At 1:21 in the morning. So it's 12:21 at 1:21.
In 2024.
2024.
A lot of numerology going on there,
Yep.
Yeah. So our Yule season is going to be the start of the solstice is December 21st. Now, the Southern Hemisphere has winter at a different period than the Northern Hemisphere. So their solstice is normally in June. Their Yule time is in June 20th, 21st.
Because it's in their winter.
Yes, it's their winter. But because the whole thing about the Yule time, we're going to get into that, is it's at the end of the harvest.
Right.
Is when the Yuletide starts. So basically, for modern pagans and Wiccans, Yule is one of the 8 Sabbats and is celebrated at the time of the winter solstice, like we spoke about, which is December 21st in the Northern Hemisphere. This is the time of year when the night is longest and the day is shortest, making the point where the days start to grow longer again as the sun seems to be reborn.
So how many days is the Yule celebration?
Normally 12 days is in the Yule celebration. And where do we get the 12 days of Christmas?
Exactly.
So if we want to talk about the Norse and Germanic cultures, it's 12-day winter saga. In the lands of the Norse and Germanic tribes, Yule was the winter celebration equivalent to a Netflix binge watch session, but way cooler and with a lot of actual gods. Lasting for 12 days, this Yuletide was the real deal, starting at the winter solstice and rolling into early January. It was a time of feasting. Could you imagine going to dinner parties and no one wants to leave? Hearty toasting to health, to gods, and to the neighbor who finally returned your ox. The ritual that were less about formality and more about celebrating the sun's comeback tour. Did you want to tell us about the Anglo-Saxon?
Sure. Over in the Anglo-Saxon England, they had their own version of this extended holiday. It was known as Gole. This was their take on Yule. Historical whispers hint at a festival stretching over several days in sync with the Norse love for 12-day revelries. This wasn't just a festival fling. It was a full-blown seasonal romance with winter. They love their winter. The reason behind these extended celebrations is the agricultural calendar. When you're living off the land, the winter solstice isn't just a cool celestial event, it's your cue to take a break. Fields are sleeping under frost, the harvest is in, and it's time to party down.
And that's always a good point to think about in today's world. Now, I'm not saying you're going to call off work for 12 days because you want to party down and feast for 12 days, which would be okay if you could, but this is about taking time and enjoying life. This is where they can slow down. This is where they can enjoy things. And in today's world, this is where things pick up. It gets hectic. It's crazy busy. So I think that we could take some lessons from the old ways and get a Yule log or do whatever for Yule and then try to have 12 days of relaxation if you can work it in.
Oh, yeah. Any little bit helps.
Yeah. Obviously, you're not going to get 12 days straight, but just taking an hour just to, I'm going to go celebrate the solstice for an hour. Don't talk to me. I'll be back. I guess you'd have to come up with a nice little sign for that,
Yeah.
I'm doing the Yule, go away.
Yeah.
So Yule, as known as Yuletide, originates from ancient Germanic and Nordic cultures, where it was known as Jol in Old Norse and Gol or Joel. How do you say Gol in Old English? It's Gol in Old English. The term Yule is used in the Scandinavian languages to refer to Christmas. The event was absorbed into Christian traditions as Christmas, but was revived by many modern pagans and Wiccans. And we've talked about this, I think, on maybe the last couple episodes, how there's a lot of things that were pagan that were done and then were absorbed into religion, the Christian religion.
Yeah, they kind of take on the same practices, more or less.
Yeah,
Same, but in their own way.
at work, we are entered in a contest to decorate our area for Christmas. And, there's going to be first, second, third prize. And there's a lot of competition coming out in these people, and everybody's excited. But there's a lot of Christmas. But I made sure that I had a wreath with mistletoe, and it's all mistletoe, and mistletoe is one of the old ways. It's not a Christian wreath. The theme's tradition, so I put a pagan wreath in there because I could. How much more tradition could you get?
Yeah, well, the wreath is part of the tradition as well.
Right.
The evergreen
Right.
wreath.
Yes, I wanted to, and there's two other people that are that familiar with because one person there does not do Christmas, and that's fine. Halloween is their jam, but they've gotten so involved in this, and they bought Christmas stuff, and they've just gotten all competitive. But she recognized what I had done with the mistletoe and the wreath. She just smiled and like, oh, I see what you've done there. Okay, so. It was kind of funny.
That is funny.
So the colors, crystals, scents, herbs, plants, flowers, and symbols of Yule are we're going to go over. So as you're welcoming the winter solstice, Yule invites us into a world shimmering with icy hues, rich scents, and symbols that echo the quiet power of the season. This time of year is about celebrating the return of light, embracing the stillness of winter, and honoring the cycles of nature. So you're basically going to unwrap the wintry charm of Yule and see if you can infuse your celebrations into its mystical essence. So we have the colors. So white symbolizes snow and purity. It reflects the blank slate of winter landscape. Red and green, classic Yule fashion, like your favorite ugly sweater, but less itchy. Red for energy and green for renewal. And you want to think of them as a spiritual espresso shot. It'll get you going. Blue echoes the crisp winter sky, reflecting serenity and introspection. Gold and silver, shiny and bright, these colors are like the disco balls of Yule, bringing in the bling and celebrating the return of the sun. And of course,
that's really neat.
Yeah.
And
when you think
that the colors,
the same for Christmas.
Yes.
Yes. And so that's very traditional colors.
Right.
Yes. Now, with crystals, which of course is my favorite thing, snow quartz resonates with the purity and quiet of a snowy landscape. Garnet symbolizes the inner fire, keeping the spirit warm in cold times. Bloodstone reminds us of the resilience and renewal of life. Clear quartz amplifies energy and thought, mirroring the clarity of winter air. Ruby, because who doesn't want a bit of sparkle during their darkest days? It's like carrying a piece of holiday cheer in your pocket. Did you want to go over the scents, Kim?
I can. Now, as for the scents, there's pine, and this brings the crisp, clean scent of evergreen forests into your space. That walking in a winter wonderland vibe indoors, minus the frostbite, which this is one of my favorite scents that I like to have. And then there's peppermint. It invigorates and refreshes like a brisk winter breeze. And then we have myrrh. It's a deep, warm aroma that encourages reflection and spiritual connection. Now, I know you've done myrrh before.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that kind of I've not burned myrrh before. It's like a heavy scent? Is it?
It's a strong scent. When I do my smudge sprays, and myrrh's expensive. It is expensive, but I mix frankincense and myrrh together because it kind of balances the scent, and obviously they do go together. But myrrh can be very pungent. It's got a, it's not a dainty smell.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the smell of it. I mean, I think probably a few people that have had the smudge spray went with just the frankincense instead of the frankincense and myrrh, and a lot of people liked both. So it was kind of a, personal preference, I think.
Okay. And then there's cedar. This is another one that I like. And it's grounding and comforting like a cozy cabin sheltered in a winter frost. And then cinnamon and clove, the olfactory equivalent of a warm hug from your favorite aunt who always slips you an extra cookie. Or it could be a grandma that does that too.
Right, right. And cinnamon and cloves have a really beautiful scent. I don't know if you've ever done a simmer pot. That's done usually during the solstice, and you basically are going to put water in a pot, and you put pine, you can put cedar, you can put cloves, oranges, all sorts of different things, cinnamon, cloves. I do cedar, and you just let it simmer, and the house just smells so good. It smells like Christmas.
Mmm.
Because
Yum.
you got your oranges in there, you got cloves, and then some people will take, once they're done simmering the pot, take the liquid and use it for cleaning.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the symbols are the Yule log. It's the holiday version of a campfire, bringing light, warmth, and maybe a marshmallow or two to the longest night of the year. Evergreen wreaths, like we talked about earlier, that represents eternal life and the enduring spirit. Snowflakes, each one's unique, symbolizing the beauty of individuality and change. Candles, their light is a tribute to the sun's return after the longest night. Wheel of the year, a reminder that everything keeps rolling, even when you're up to your ears in wrapping paper and holiday to-do lists. So here we have the wreath, the evergreen wreath. So that
Mm-hmm.
ties it in. And I mean, the Yule logs. I mean, how many people, even if they don't do the Yule logs with the candles, they do the dessert Yule log. And your Christmas and candles go hand in hand.
Right. Yeah.
So all of this has been, you know, a long, 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 long time ago tradition that has still stayed true today, it seems like.
Yeah, it does. Next, we'll have the herbs, plants, and flowers. Holly symbolizes protection and the enduring life force. Plus, they're a great reminder to keep things lively and a bit prickly during family gatherings. Mistletoe, the ultimate excuse for some Yule smooches. It represents peace, love, and the continuation of life. Just hang it up and let the magic happen. No swiping required on that one.
No swipe left or right.
Nope, nope. Ivy is a sign of resilience and clinging to life and light in the darkest times. And then poinsettia. The bright red color of the poinsettia's bracts, often mistaken as its flowers, is reminiscent of the sun, a key symbol of the winter solstice.
And keep in mind, they are poisonous to animals.
Yes, they are.
Don't eat it. Okay.
Nope.
Now, the symbolism of Yule is basically rebirth and renewal, mirroring nature's cycle patterns. It marks the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, heralding the return of longer, brighter days. The Yule log, holly, mistletoe, and evergreen wreaths are enduring symbols of this celebration, representing life's resilience to winter's harsh rain.
Pagan beliefs about the Yule is as the chill of the winter embraces the northern hemisphere. Different pagan traditions gather to celebrate Yule, marking the return of the sun and the promise of brighter days. Now, each tradition brings its unique rituals and symbolism to this ancient festival. For Wiccans, Yule is a celebration of the sun god's rebirth, and rituals often involve candle lighting and altar decorations with evergreens and sun symbols reflecting on the past and future.
Norse paganism and heathenry, they observe the Yule with feasts and toasts to Odin. The Yule log lighting is central and accompanied by traditions like the Wild Hunt, symbolizing a mystical transformative time. In Druidry, Druids celebrate the winter solstice as a time of balance between light and dark. Dawn ceremonies, storytelling, and music are common, focusing on the sun's rebirth at sacred sites like Stonehenge. Each of these traditions honors Rule as a time of darkness turning into light, embodying themes of renewal and hope. So, your Yule traditions and customs. The Yule log. The burning of the Yule log is a tradition stemming from the ancient Celts, believing it brings good luck and protect the home. Evergreen wreaths symbolize eternal life and commonly crafted and displayed in honor of nature's unyielding spirit. And wassailing, an Old English custom of toasting to good health, is another lively tradition often involving song, dance, and shared beverage, typically a warmed cider.
And that is so yummy.
Yeah. And that, it's funny, the song, Here We Go A Wassailing.
That's right, exactly. Here we
Yeah.
go, wassailing.
Yeah. And that's a Christmas song. But nobody knows what wassailing is. What is that? I don't know.
I don't know. We just say it. Just say it. So, in the Yule lore, Yule lads are part of the Icelandic folklore. It's a merry yet mischievous band of 13 trolls who, starting 13 days before Yule, visit children across the country each night. Each lad has particular habits, ranging from slamming doors to licking spoons.
That's funny.
Modernite is an Old English tradition known as Mother's Night, is believed to have been a significant part of Yule celebrations in pre-Christian Britain. Modernite, celebrated on what we now call Christmas Eve, was a time to honor the female ancestral spirits and goddesses.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then Odin's Great Yule Hunt. This is all wrapped around Odin.
Yeah.
And those gods, In some traditions, Odin, the All-Father in Norse mythology, is believed to lead a great hunt during the Yule season, riding his 8-legged steed across the night sky. This great Yule hunt was both awe-inspiring and a little frightening, serving as a reminder of the wildness of nature, even in the season of slumber.
Now, the Yule deities, of course, is Odin. Mythology. Odin, the All-Father, is celebrated during Yule, a god of wisdom, magic, and war. The Green Man, also known as the Oak King in Celtic folklore, the Green Man, a symbol of rebirth and growth, is venerated during Yule. And then we have Frigga. The Norse beliefs Frigga, Odin's wife, goddess of hearth and home, is often honored during Yule for her association with familiar and domestic warmth.
Now, Yule customs are replete with delicious, hearty foods. Traditional fare includes Yule ham, gingerbread, mulled wine, roast goose, and spiced cakes and biscuits. From hearty roasts that echo our ancestral past to spiced drinks that warm the soul, each dish in the Yule feast is a fusion of tradition, nature's bounty, and a dash of culinary magic. So the first part is the meat, and we're talking about that it's pork or beef taking center stage at your Yule feast. It's like a culinary high five to ancient feasts where meat was the MVP.
And this would have been roasted.
Yeah, roasted, exactly.
Okay, so the root vegetables, the underground heroes. Digging into the earth, we uncover root veggies like carrots and potatoes. They're like the unsung heroes of the winter table, humbling yet indispensable, representing the earth's resilience and our ability to find joy in simplicity.
Nuts and berries is nature's snack pack, of course. Break out the nuts and berries, folks. They are nature saying, here, have a snack for your survival. Hazelnuts, walnuts, and the occasional berry. Those are some of my favorites there.
Yeah. Then we have mulled wine or cider, which is the adult warm hug. Spiced, warm, and slightly intoxicating mulled wine or cider for the sober squad is like a magic potion against the cold. It's a reminder of the sun's warmth, now a distant memory and a promise of its return.
And then the Yule log cake, which is beautiful artistry that you can eat. Who doesn't want a cake that looks like a tree stump? The Yule log cake is the runway model of the dessert world. It symbolizes the Yule log's enduring warmth and a delicious excuse to eat more chocolate.
And then fruits and preserves. They're the sweet echo of summer. Winter fruits and jams are like edible postcards from summer, reminding us of the sun-kissed days. They're little bursts of joy amidst the cold, symbolizing nature's enduring generosity.
Now, there's also the dark leafy greens, the stalwarts of winter. These greens are the quiet warriors of the winter garden. They don't just add color to our plates. They're a testament to endurance, teaching us that there's life and strength even in the bleakest times.
So breads and pastries are the carbs of life. Baking bread and pastries for Yule is like wrapping yourself in a warm blanket, plus it smells good when it's baking. Whether
Definitely.
shaped into symbolic forms or just a delicious blob, they represent comfort, community, and the joy of sharing.
And gingerbread, spicy and structurally sound. Gingerbread is Yule's multitasker, a cookie, a decoration, a craft project. If you're feeling ambitious, build a house. If not, a gingerbread man still counts and is delicious.
Yes, I love ginger. Fish or seafood is ode to the sea's bounty. For those near the coast, seafood is a Yule staple, offering a different kind of feast. It's a salute to the ocean's gifts, a reminder of the world's natural diversity and abundance.
And Yule is still celebrated today, as we talked about earlier, particularly among those who identify as pagans, Wiccans, and simply nature lovers seeking to honor the season cycle. Many traditions have been incorporated into mainstream holiday celebrations as well, making Yule's spirit more widespread than one might initially realize.
The significance of Yule is that Yule embodies a powerful duality, embracing the beauty of darkness while celebrating the promise of light's return. It's a time of gratitude for what we have, the hope for what's to come, and the beauty of life's enduring cycle. That's kind of a wonderful way to try to just look at that when it's the 21st. Great time for gratitude for what you have. Be grateful for what you have, and try to manifest what's to come, and just the beauty of life cycle. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah, I agree. There are 10 easy ways that you can celebrate Yule. The first is light a Yule log. This can be an actual log or a simple candle to symbolize the return of light.
Create an evergreen wreath, celebrating the resilience of nature by creating and displaying an evergreen wreath. And how can you not go wrong with that?
Exactly. Now, enjoy the Yule foods. Cook traditional Yule foods to share with family and friends. That's always a yummy thing.
Hold a solstice vigil. Spend the longest night in quiet reflection, welcoming the return of the sun at dawn.
Make a Yule altar. This can be decorated with symbols of the season like holly, mistletoe, and images of the sun.
You can donate to a good cause. A season of giving considers supporting a charity of those less fortunate.
And then nature walks. Embrace the beauty of winter with a brisk walk in nature. I did that yesterday.
Wassail. Hold a small gathering with loved ones, toasting to health and happiness.
Sunrise yoga. Welcome the returning sun with some gentle, warming yoga.
And then share stories of Yule lore, fostering a sense of wonder and connection with ancient traditions.
So I found this to be really fun and really interesting.
Yeah, me too. Because, there's so much you don't even think about. Now, the Yule log is traditionally lit on Christmas Eve and burned continuously through the 12 days of Christmas, ending on January 5th, also known as Twelfth Night.
That's interesting.
Now, traditionally, the size of the log, you're going to have a big log because the biggest log they could find would have to last, so you need to last 12 days. And then the
Right.
ashes from the Yule log were said to be good for plants and were sprinkled on the land and into food for animals to bring fertility, growth, and protection in the coming year. Fortune telling, some people would count the sparks from the burning log to predict their futures for the new year.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, after the Yule log was burned, it would be placed under the bed for luck and protection from lightning and fire. So
Hmm.
that's interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, last year I did have a Yule log, and I really enjoyed it. And I did burn. I did. Obviously, I just burned the candles. I didn't burn the actual log because I didn't have a
Hmm.
place to burn it other than outside. And so this year I just could not get a log. So it's like, because you don't want to use a tree that's been down for a while too
Hmm.
dry. So, and I wasn't going to cut down a tree just to get me a Yule log. We didn't have a resource that was handy to me this year. But hopefully next year I will have that resource. But I think it's really interesting how, we just have traditions today that we don't even realize where they come from.
Yeah, where they actually started from and stuff. It was so fascinating.
Yes. And to think about like the roasted dinners and stuff, the roasted meats and stuff, you get together for a Christmas dinner, there's usually a ham or usually not a roast goose in this area, but I'm sure there is
Oh.
somewhere, but those are, traditional meals that people still have today, they hold these customs.
Hmm.
But
Right.
the ham makes sense because the ham is something that would have been preserved.
That's right. Yeah.
It would have been
Yeah.
preserved, it would have been hung up, and would have been, and just like the jams and jellies, those would have been canned. So it's all about your bounty, your winter bounty, the things that you've stored for the winter, the things that are available to eat at wintertime, and then of course the decorations.
Hmm.
So I just thought that was very interesting, and I didn't know what wassailing was until we did the research. I'm like, oh, that song makes a little more sense now. That's why they were so cheery.
That's
Let's
right.
go drinking and toast. So I'm like, okay.
I think one year, if I'm remembering correctly, years ago, Mom made wassail. She made
Mulled wine.
what she called wassail. Yeah, we couldn't have it, but
She made it. It wasn't for us.
I think I remember. Yeah, it wasn't for us. I think I remember something like that. I think I do. It's whenever we were doing the big parties and stuff growing up.
I was probably too young to know.
Probably too
Yes.
young. Yeah,
Yes.
it was. It wasn't the apple cider incident, but
Yeah. Yes. Never feed a toddler apple cider that's gone hard.
right. And let everybody let her get a sip from everybody.
Yes. Obviously, no one was watching the toddler.
No, no,
No.
no,
But yeah, we're not going to say who did that, Kim. But
no, no,
no. But yeah.
no.
Yeah, we wanted to insert this episode. It's not what we really had planned out, but we got to talking about, Yule time and Christmas is coming up and the solstice is approaching, and we were, looking at the calendar, and Kim's like, we got to get this in there. This would be perfect time to do it. So,
Yep.
so this episode isn't going to be as long as our other episodes, which is fine. We just felt that it was very important to go over what the Yule log or the Yuletide is and where it came from and how many of these wonderful traditions we do today came from this. And to
Right.
also kind of remind everybody to take time for you. It's okay.
Exactly.
Take
Yeah.
time for you. Don't kill yourself trying to do Christmas shopping, and just enjoy
Yeah. Just enjoy the time
it.
with people and family and friends and yourself.
And I think just big reflective, especially on just the 21st at the beginning of the solstice, that be grateful,
Hmm.
think back on how far you've come this year and be proud how far you've come, because everybody's gone through something. This year has been horrendous in this area with a devastating hurricane.
Hmm.
There's
Yeah.
places all over the world where things that have happened that you survived and you're stronger for it, and you should be thankful and grateful and just be proud of where you're at today, and think about your future and what you want to manifest in the new year.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I think this would be the perfect time to line up your cord cutting. Start thinking about that after you spend time together or with family, and just spend the quiet times alone, being grateful for where you're at, what you have, and what work you've done. and how far you've come. And then just kind of like, okay, now what kind of things am I going to do for after these 12 days? What's the next step?
Yeah, exactly. How do I want to better myself and better my abilities and whatever for
Yes.
the next year?
Yes. And I'm not one for setting.
New Year's resolutions? No, I don't do
No,
that.
I don't do New Year's resolutions because, usually you pick something that, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, no, you don't. You don't do it. So to me, this would be a perfect time to maybe start a new habit. If you've not done the journaling, this would be a good time to start. So during these 12 days, when you take time for yourself to be reflective, perfect time to journal. It can
Yeah.
help you focus on your reflection. And for me, writing down what I'm grateful for makes it real.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's like it's sending it to the universe.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's a good thought.
That's kind of what I think. So, is there anything else you want to add to that, Kim?
No, I think that covers it for us.
Okay. I would like to apologize to the listeners if you heard my cat purring. He was very happy that Mommy was home and I couldn't get him to stop purring. He was doing it very loudly. So I'm not sure if it's going to show in the recording, but if you hear an odd vibrating noise, that's just Ranger saying hello.
Exactly.
So he me out a few times, but I think it's when you were talking, so I'm sure you'll edit that out.
Yeah.
So
We'll see what we can do.
yes. So I hope everybody has a very blessed Christmas holiday season. Stay safe and just really enjoy the time.
Right. And if you'd like to reach out to us, you can find us on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast and by email at psychicbent1@gmail.com or wherever you listen to our podcast.
And feel free to like and follow us. And if you have any comments or want to give a review, we would greatly appreciate that. A lot of work goes into these podcasts. And like I've said before, poor Kim has to work around my schedule.
Sometimes you have to work around mine, but
but the majority of the time. So we had plan A and plan B for this recording. If we can't get it at A, but then we're going to go back to B and report at a different time. But we were glad that everything worked out and we're able to get this episode before Christmas.
Right. So be safe, everybody out there.
Yes, be safe. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, however you celebrate it. Enjoy it. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Bye. May your light shine bright. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast, Psychic Bent. If you enjoyed Psychic Bent, please like, follow, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to Psychic Bent. We can be reached on Facebook at Psychic Bent Podcast. Our email address is psychicbent1@gmail.com. May your light shine bright.